So I'm going to do this time, instead of the dragon snakes, which you can go check out the videos where I painted the dragon snakes in the same design, but Heron in the Art Nouveau, Art Deco design, gold sphere rather than the full gold background, but we'll see. It just depends on what I'm getting into. So we're going to be working on the Heron, pop like a surreal Art Nouveau heron bird. So let's get to it. The thing I use for blending a lot of my colors, just use some of my, it's a baking paper. It's not a wax paper necessarily, it's a baking paper. Even though I have my acrylics in this, which is really great at keeping them soft, I also do there's also an extender in here. A lid for this. This is those regular little eating bowls. These work amazing for putting your, it's smaller to carry. You can put your acrylics in it. And then I have the other one, iridescent ones in it for all the special effects I like to make. Have you noticed how I love round things? So one of the ways I do it is I just put it down in here and I scratch. I might just be ripping all the way up. See the round image or the round embossed part? Easy to do this way, and it makes it where it's faster to clean my little palette. I've used clipboards. Wood clipboards is for like the wood. You can put down some linseed oil when you're doing oil paintings and use clipboards because they already have a hole in them and they're much easier actually to hang. So got my new paper in there. Is sometimes when I'm working with the pieces, and the reason why I can change gears mid-piece is sometimes when you're creating, you've got the idea in your head, well, I want to be a bluish or a lavender gray. It'll pop off the red and it should look amazing. Sometimes you get such a stickler of, I know exactly how I want this to look and I'm going for that. And then when you're in the process, something fantastical happens. It's probably not even a word, but I like to use it. Fantastical. Ooh. And you don't want to ruin what you just did, and that's called switching gears. Before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the channel today. You can also find other exciting things that I like to create. This whole channel, The Impromptu Life, is based on creating things. We've got a video where I make a pink apple pie. We got another video where I make chicken soup. So it's kind of a food, gardening, and creative art channel. I do have some off-grid property now, and the idea is that when we get out there, we're going to be doing a lot of other things, like I'm going to be sharing the creative process of building, of putting up a tool shed, maybe some small little pond areas. We're just going to have whatever. We're just going to have a lot of fun. So if you like that kind of off-grid and artistic stuff like we're doing here and creative things, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I think there's a bell icon too that might let you know when I've uploaded a new video. Now these have been really popular with the creatures done in a kind of Art Nouveau surreal style. People seem to really like the snake dragons, and I have videos of those as well as some shorts. And I decided to show a little bit more of the painting process in this particular video, but you'll see I kind of skip parts where you might not, again, want to necessarily wait and watch the paint dry. So I do show the parts that I think are kind of fun and important, and just kind of, this is also very sped up. I think I did one little section where I unslowed it so you can actually see the speed that I'm working in, but it is super fun to do these creative ideas where you're getting a design out of your mind. And as you well know, if you're familiar with my art, I'm very into nature and animals, horses, western. I even sometimes do some sailboats, schooners, and oceanscapes, landscapes. And I also work with all different mediums. You can go to the About Me section on the channel. And then, if you watch the channel, like I said, I create with everything. I plan on eventually having a whole pottery thing as well as stained glass, because part of the off-grid thing that I will be doing is that it's basically kind of a studio situation. Like I want to have to be able to do large projects or big projects and work from
home, and having space and being off grid will allow me to do that. So I wanted some stained glass. I don't know if I'll go so far as to get a blowtorch and do metalwork, but I really want to try it. I might actually take some smithing classes and make sure. Who knows? But because there's a fire, involved in that one. Either way, we're going to have a lot of fun. So, yeah. And in this video, if you do like what we're doing here with our little heron, be sure to smash that like button. As far as I understand, it really does help out, and that's always kind of fun. It's an easy way of helping out. And I do sell this artwork if you are interested in that. I try to remember to put some basic links or how you can find me in the description below. If you do love original one-of-a-kind pieces, hard to find designs, or just unique artwork, I do have some really fun sculpture paintings that I've done, and I just love them. They're so fun, but they do take quite a bit longer to complete and to do. So, and this I am basically $3.25 a square inch, and that kind of gives you a good idea there what the cost will be. But you won't always find that. I do list my things at that using e-commerce, and I will slowly, once people get their first pick, people who watch the work and grab the ones that they want, I will slowly lower the prices the longer I have pieces. But I am kind of low on inventory right now because I'm just, creating a lot of work. But the last few years were really busy in selling a lot of stuff. So I'm going to try to do my best to just do this, and I'm creating a lot of stuff, and hopefully I'll have a lot of inventory build back up. I'm only back up to right now maybe about, what am I at, like 240 pieces, something like that. But I will get that inventory built back up for everybody to have plenty of things to see and to choose from, and to even to just go enjoy looking at. So there's watercolors, there's charcoal pastels, there's all sorts of fun stuff there. And even with this piece, I did decide to keep the red background, so I'm just kind of letting a little of that red show through. That way it's tying together all the colors, and you'll also see me jumping around the piece. So like if I'm working on one part with that particular color, I'm doing small mixes. So before that dries, I will take that mix and work up above, and then I'll come back down below. And it's really just to make sure that the whole piece is staying really consistent and as one piece. I also although I start out very impressionist, I can tighten until it becomes a bit more leaning towards realism. Of course, this one isn't. This is more like surrealism. It's fantasy-like, very nature-oriented and fantasy-like. And if you enjoy watching the videos over and over again, I know I posted a couple of videos where there was no talking and no sound at all. But if you want to see the videos over and over again and don't want to keep hearing me talking, you can always just mute it. Really beautiful. And I do wonder sometimes if I wanted to make that gold sphere in the back a little bit bigger, but I think it's the perfect size because a little bit of the beak sneaks out over the edge. And so ultimately I became really happy with this size. I might have a few adjustments here and there left to do. It will be up in sometime this week. I will try to get it up there into the stores. Sometimes I have the video saved from earlier, so the piece is either already up and has been up for a while, or sometimes you'll go in and not see it, but you can always like comment or whatever, and I can tell if it's still available. I try to go back on the videos and mark the ones that are sold, but I only do that if I really get a chance to, because it's just kind of takes time to do something like that. So I really, really love how it was coming out here, and we're definitely getting ready to put the gold on. And sometimes, I believe it was like in one of the last pieces, you see that I did the full gold background before finishing up the colors, because I wanted to see how you need to kind of tie them together and see how they work together. But with this one, because I'm keeping the red background, I already really had a good idea as far as how everything was working together. And the gold sphere really wasn't going to change it that much. So, but I do love when you're working with the blues, the lavenders, and colors like that, how they can just pop off the page when they're contrasted against the red. And although I did decide to lavender and warm this bird up a little bit more, the heron, it still came out looking amazing rather than going too blue. But I can. I mean, I could totally rework this and put a little bit more blue in to get it to stand out away from the red. But I just am so in love with how it turned out, I decided to just stick with what we have here. If you look really closely, you also see I'm putting the iridescence in there. So when it moves, you see the feathers, just like you'd see feathers on a real bird stand out. And I also added iridescence to our flowers. Again, thank you so much for joining me. If you love this kind of stuff, see you soon.